East High School is going to be closed. I want to assure you that that is a rumor. To stand up to confirm the fact that we have not discussed closing Rich East. We are not going to discuss closing Rich East. We have no reason to discuss closing Rich East. Now, one individual board member sent a request for an item to be on the agenda, and it also went to the media. The media got it and jumped to the conclusion that the school with the lowest enrollment was going to be closed. And that is absolutely not true. That's one individual's fear and not the board's fear, nor the administration's. So again, and all my board members are here. Will you stand up, please? Because I want it clear that we have not had a conversation regarding the closing of any of our schools, number one, and definitely not Rich East. Ms. Alyssa Hernandez, Ms. Sheila Hester Horton, Ms. Sonia Norwood, Ms. Coleman, and Dr. Morgan. Mr. Imakode could not be with us this evening because of a long-term commitment that he made, and so he just couldn't be in two places at one time. So with that, we have quite a crowd. Do any of the other board members want to make a statement? I do. Help out.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Sheila Hester Horton, and I'm here to assure Park Foresters that I'm committed to all of you all. You all supported me. I'm a member of your community. There's no way that I will allow anything to happen to our community and to our children. I'm very emotional today because I had quite a day, and I want to share it. It started with getting different text messages. I think I have a total of 15 text messages in regards to Rich East closing. Then I started getting telephone calls. And then when I was in my business downtown Park Forest, two parents came to have a discussion with me about the schools closing. So I want to apologize, Park Forest, for the information that was erroneously given to you all. I want to apologize because we deserve better. Rich Township deserves better. Park Forest is very important to this whole community. And how dare anybody get the impression that we're not good enough, our children aren't good enough, and that we don't deserve to stay. I promised everybody that I would do what was in the best interest of the children. I will keep that promise. I may not always agree with the board members, but I am an individual. When I make my decisions, I make them as a board, and I stick with the board decisions. Please understand that we're not perfect, and we have a lot of changes to make, and we're trying to do what's right. I'm glad that you're here, but I want to appeal to you all to come back. I want you to know that it takes all of the community, not just 7 people on the board, to make a difference in our community. So I inspire you all to come back, give your opinion, but not only when you think things are going not the way you want it to go, when things are going good. We got a lot of good things going on in our schools. We got a lot of good things going on in our village. Our president, our trustees, they care about our community. And it's obvious that you all do too. Thank you for coming. Again, I apologize. And I am committed to our community.
Okay, good evening everyone. My name is Cheryl Coleman. And I was the person, the board member, who requested
an item to be added to the agenda for March 20th, and that will be at Rich East High School at 7 o'clock is the open public session, and 7:30 is the actual board meeting. What I requested is for the enrollment analysis to be done on the entire district. And the reason why that concern came up to me is when I looked at the numbers on our annual statement of affairs report, we had 4,097 students in our district. When I looked in 2010, when I looked at the numbers in 2011, we had 4,047, somewhere around there, give or take 1 or 2. Then when I requested the current enrollment for 2012, I noticed 3,880. That brought a concern to me. And then I started thinking, if we continue on the trend from 4,097 to 3,880, and what does next year look like? That's why I requested an enrollment analysis. And then I shared with all the constituents who supported me, it's over 200 people, that my fear is the school with the lowest enrollment over time may close. I don't know which school that would be, but I did state that in my letter to all the constituents that talked to me. And the enrollment number, to me, pays the bills. And that's why we're cutting teachers or positions and things like that right now, because we're losing enrollment. We don't have as many children as we had the last time. So, right, we require less personnel. So if that's happening this year with 3,880, I want to know right now, before we hit the year 2013, what is the projection of the new school year? So I've requested that every elementary school provide their annual statement of affairs, a top sheet that tells us their current enrollment. How many students are currently in the 8th grade, so that we can potentially know how many are coming to our buildings, potentially. Because people have options. The options that they have right now, they have the Catholic schools, they have the charter schools, and they have our public schools. And so what I want us to do, that's right.
Yep.
And what I want us to do, I told them I want an aggressive plan put together on how we plan to recruit children to our schools, to make ourselves more attractive, because we do have an edge on the charter schools. But we have to pull it together. We can't do it thinking that everybody's forced to come to the public school, because that's not true anymore. So that's why the letter went out the way it did. And I got a couple of calls from Casey Toner. I couldn't get back with him in time, so I think he just took it upon himself to think it was East. But I'm glad you all came out tonight, because on March 20th, you should be able to hear the real story on the enrollment, you're able to hear the real story on our recruitment plan, how we plan to be aggressive, how we plan to attract the students to our schools, and how many students are currently in the 8th grade heading our way. So it's a good night for you to be out here. So thank you so much, and I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
While Ms. Coleman is entitled to her projection and her thoughts about the matter, and as she meets with her constituents, it's certainly all right for them to form their opinions, but the district has a plan. We had a demographic study done several years ago, and it projected out for several years from now. And the enrollment is right on target. By the way, the projected enrollment for this coming school year is 4,012. So we have a plan.